Continuing on with our project on the 1966 Chevy Caprice, just looking over the engine compartment, air conditioning compressor there, lots of leaves. I don't think that was a mouse nest. I really think that was a squirrel's nest in there. But tried to take a lot of pictures just looking how things are, because it is fairly original under the hood here. It's also been sitting for 36 years and hasn't been driven or started. A lot of surface rust. But this is always a good thing to do. Get yourself some pictures. See how it all went together. Because you're going to have to go back and look to make sure that you're putting things exactly where they were originally. Sweet little car. Excited to get started on this and starting to clean some of these things up out of here. I mean, I don't really see any mice chewing on the wires here. Maybe they just weren't that delicious back then. But a lot of leaves and dirt, and there's a horrible master cylinder cover, and there is that squirrel's nest over there. Just awful. Okay, what we're going to do now, after I already vacuumed up the mouse nest that was down in there, let's take off this air cleaner and see what is in store for us under here. Because I see nuts everywhere under here. It's heavy. You hear that? Come on over here. Think there's anything in there? Oh my God! Look at this. And they're still coming. All right, we gotta pop this off. This is crazy. Look at that. Look at the size of those nuts they stored in there. The whole thing is stopped full. Look at here. Wow. But air filters looks pretty good. Okay, air cleaner is off. Leaves and mouse nests, and I think there was a squirrel's nest in here, has been removed. Beginning to see an engine. This is a 327 4-barrel. The valve cover says 327 turbo fire. Starting to soak some things down, especially on the carburetor. I got the linkage to move. Inside of the carburetor doesn't look that bad at all, but we've got to get to see if we can get this thing to rotate a little bit, to turn over just a little bit. The battery, I have no idea how old this battery is, but I've got it on a trickle charger, and we're going to see if we can get any voltage out of this thing. This is an old battery. They built them differently back then. The hubcaps just came off after, what, 50 years, maybe, you think? They look like these were H78 by 14 bias ply tires. And looking at the lug nuts, this has been on here a long time. This tire had been replaced at one time with a smaller 14-inch tire. Kind of incredible. Big changes already on the Caprice. We had an extra set of 15-inch wheels sitting around here in the shop with 4 good tires. So now she is a roller. And it looks pretty sick sitting there on those black Steelies. The left front caliper, I say caliper, I'm sorry, these are 4-wheel drum brakes. The left front spins very well. The right front, not so much. Front end, it's going to need everything. It really is. But it's now sitting level on the ground. It'll be easier for us to roll around. And she was sitting flat on the ground. And that looks better already. And we're going onward. We still want to try and see if we can get this engine to manually turn over. And we'll just keep plugging along. I opened the reservoir finally for the brake booster. Completely empty and very rusty, but I put some brake fluid in there and we're going to see what's going to happen. We'll see if I get anything dripping up under the vehicle. I had a lot of air bubbles coming up, but I don't anticipate a 1966 master cylinder to still be working. Here we go. Starting it. Oh my gosh, okay. Things are looking a little different under the hood of the 66 Caprice. Basically, I took off the fan shroud to look at the radiator, and also the fan and the fan clutch. All the belts are off. Air conditioning compressor spins freely. Alternator spins freely. Power steering pump spins freely. It's all good. Still haven't gotten that master cylinder cap off yet. It is so rusted. The radiator is toast. It's completely rotted out at the bottom. You're gonna need a new radiator. Of course, a new thermostat. Upper and lower radiator hoses, both heater hoses are going to have to be replaced. Spark plug wires, distributor cap, rotor, points, condenser, vacuum hoses which are dry rotted. You need a battery tray which is completely rusted out. The carburetor looks clean inside. No idea if it works. But yeah, it's looking different, and I'm going to be making a list of things that I'm going to have to start with to get. And of course, it is now sitting on 4 black Steely wheels with tires from a Chevrolet S10 pickup truck, and so she's sitting just fine. Took the spark plugs out. They're all right here. Got them all marked, which ones were which. But I am totally shocked at how good the plugs looked. I expected a whole lot worse. They're a little bit of carbon fouling, but they're not that bad. They were rusted in there, as you can see. But I'll bet they would actually, with being cleaned up, they would probably fire. But they're really old. It's going to need new plugs. But at least I did not see any water or rust damage on the spark plug tips for all cylinders, and all cylinders looked exactly the same, which is great news. And you can see there are the tires on this side, and the back tire there, and And soon we're going to turn this thing over. By the way, I filled all the spark plug holes with Marvel Mystery Oil, and it's been soaking for a couple of days. You can't turn, it's very hard to turn over this engine by hand because the water pump is seized. It will not turn, it will not move. And GM did not provide a bolt for you to turn the crankshaft. So we're going to be very carefully hooking a hot battery to it and turning the key, just a quick bump, to see if she turns over. Then I'll send you that video. Once more, taking more pictures underneath the hood of the way things are hooked up, looking at all the wiring, getting ready to start it up for the first time. It's a little bit dirty, but you can see new points put in, and distributor didn't look that bad at all, which is very surprising for something that has sat this long. And once more looking at the coil there and distributor cap and the wiring, making sure that I've got everything hooked up correctly for the moment of truth in just a few more minutes. Okay. Moment of truth. Ooh, it smells. It smells. We're going to try and see if this thing starts. New plugs, new plug wires, new distributor cap, new rotor, new points, new condenser. All the ground's cleaned. Hit it. It runs. Wow. What's coming out the back?
A whole bunch of carbon.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's just fantastic news here. Wow. It's been sitting since the year 1989. I'm using some of this True Fuel, which is fuel and oil mix. The lifters don't sound like they are happy. Let's try it again. That's not too bad. I'm in total shock. Mark, it runs. It runs. Okay, try again. Lifters are getting quieter and quieter, aren't they?
Nope. More pressure.
As Derek would say, that's probably way too much. Go ahead. Wow. So, okay, crank it again. Hang on. Okay, try again. Okay. It runs, Mark. As I pour the fuel in the carburetor, of course, it's just coming out the bottom of it, so the carb's got to be completely rebuilt. This is what is coming out of the exhaust. Isn't that something? But, as I said, I had to clean up every ground. New positive battery cable, new negative battery cable, all the grounds. A new starter, a hot battery, distributor cap, rotor, points, condenser, plug wires, and plugs. Of course, you know the water pump is seized. Alternator's off because it's dead too. But this is a huge accomplishment here. She runs, she's a little bit noisy, but we know it runs, so therefore I don't feel bad about taking off valve covers and cleaning inside there. And of course you see the thermostat housing and neck were off. I was concerned that the inside was going to be really, really rusty, but it is not that bad. There's nothing in there. She is as dry as can be. So, you just let me know. I continue on later. You have to play with neutral, maybe. Was it moving?
Let's see.
It runs, it shifts into drive and reverse, and now I'm looking at this old Delco Remy alternator. Time to find a new one, because this one is dead.
Working on the Caprice today. Fuel tank is out. Brand new fuel tank from Classic Industries. Right here, waiting to go in. There are the straps. I bought 2 new ones also, and the felt insulators that go on top of the tank. The tank had been in there, since it was built in 1966. The last time it had fuel in it was probably 1986. It's the last time they filled it up with gas. And then they had to put a hole in it with a forklift tank. Tank had a hole in it, and a big hole. And the only thing you can do is just replace it. But simple in 1966. Basically, you had a fuel line which ran from the tank up to the fuel pump, and then you have a vent line right up there. That's all there was, and a fuel tank sender with a ground and an electrical connector. I purchased a new tank, new sending unit, and some brand new 3/8 inch fuel line. The line for the vent, I'm saying, is going to be smaller than 3/8, but I'll figure that out when the time comes. But I wanted to make sure that the fuel line was good. The steel line going from the tank up to the fuel pump was good. So, and I didn't want all this horrible old gasoline just squirting all over my shop and making a mess and smelling. So what I did was I drilled a hole in the top of an empty oil jug, 3/8 inch fuel line going right down in here and closed up. Then I went around to the front and sprayed some brake parts cleaner into the fuel line, It goes from right up here straight to the back. And then I used a little bit of air right inside there. Not more than about, 20 pounds of air. And cleared out all the old fuel. And it didn't splash all over the floor. Didn't make a mess, and it really doesn't smell because it's inside that oil container. And then I'm going to take it and turn it the other way around. I'm going to take that hose, 3/8 inch hose hooked up to the Castrol oil bottle, put it right down here, and then blow it from the back to the front. It's pretty good way of doing it, and I didn't make a mess. Let me show you the old fuel tank. There is the old radiator. Yeah, I've got a new one. But anyway, there's the fuel tank. And this is the vent line right there. Hooks up with a little rubber hose up to the vent line on the body. There's your sending unit. These are the insulator pads, which I have new ones also that will stick on there. And this thing is very heavy because whatever fuel was inside here has turned into tar. Literally tar. So that's going to be disposed of properly. But what a mess.
Valve covers are off. Starting to clean the insides of the valve covers, and have decided that I'm going to go ahead and paint them and put some new decals on them. I think that Mark would really like that. Here's a brand new battery tray, which I got also from Classic Industries. Not very expensive at all, fit perfectly fine. The other one was completely rusted. And here we go with the fuel tank hookup. Brand new fuel tank up there. I did clean up the old straps, and they're working just perfectly fine. They really built things well back in the 60s. There's that new fuel tank up there. Getting ready to test it in just a few minutes and make sure that it will hold fuel and there will be no leaks. And right behind the license plate is the fuel filler. I did use the original fuel cap that came with the car after I cleaned it all up and put a new gasket in it. And I think that's going to work out great too. And then here come pictures of the valve covers. As you can see, they are pretty beat up. And went and I got some paint, and I will be painting them, and also put some new decals on there.
The Caprice has a new gas tank. I got this from Classic Industries. It's a nice tank. It fit very well. Used the old straps because they were fine. It looks really good. It fit perfectly. And I think he'll be all set. Up under the back, this is the vent line with a brand new hose and new clamps. There's the new sending unit. Electrical connector hooked up to it right there. The ground, which grounds to the frame. Brand new fuel line hooked up to the original fuel line. Everything looking nice and neat and tidy. Straps look good. This is undercoating that was applied to the factory. This is clay, Louisiana mud. Exhaust system doesn't look too bad. A lot of surface rust up under here, but at least we have a fuel tank in here now, and fuel line is clear all the way to the front. And now it'll be time for fuel pump.
Now for something completely different, look at this water pump. This water pump is the original one from 1966. Seized completely. Will not turn. It is just awful. Time to replace it. Fresh one.
This is the water pump from the 66 Caprice with 327 4-barrel. To say it was rusty would be an understatement. It is completely seized. And as you can see, my gosh, this is just really wild. But it came off real nice. Got lots of bracketry in here for the air conditioning compressor, and I mean it's not bad in there. It's dry. There's been nothing in it, and we're gonna clean that all up. Put a new water pump in, and we continue on. The rebuilt Quadrajet is now sitting on top of the intake manifold, and that was a job in itself. Back on the Caprice, little update. Thermostat's in, thermostat neck is in, fresh gaskets, carburetor's in, vacuum hose is hooked up, heater hose fitting installed in the intake manifold. Water pump is in. There is the heater hose connection there. There's the fresh fuel pump. Air conditioning compressor is off to the side because I want to put on valve covers, which are right over there, prior to putting the AC compressor back in. I did test the AC compressor clutch, and the clutch engages, and the compressor spins by hand very well. Who knows? That thing might work with a little Freon. Brake booster hose is still missing. I've got to find a good brake booster hose. The one that was in it was completely dry rotted, and I just got to find a good brake booster hose yet. Master cylinder, I have no idea if it works. I do have new transmission cooler lines. They will have to go in. Then I can put the radiator in. Upper and lower radiator hoses need to go in. The shroud has to go back on. The fan has to go back on. The pulley. Oh, there's a whole lot. But I'm taking my time. I don't want to break anything. A lot of these bolts and a lot of these fittings are old and rusty, and the new stuff that you can find, if you can find anything, is garbage. It is best to clean up the old hardware and reinstall it. It'll last a lifetime, but we're getting there. Here are the heater hoses on the roof, just kind of sitting out there, stretching out. They have to be installed yet. Of course, the trunk full of parts yet. I do have all the bulbs working back here in the left and right running lights and turn signal bulbs and license plate bulb, and both backup lights are now working with fresh bulbs. I had to clean out all of the sockets. They were completely rusted out. I replaced the light bulb for this rear dome light, but the lens is missing. I don't know. I can't find it anywhere in the car. It was not here when it came. It might be under a seat. I don't know. I'm still going to look around for it before I order one. And just getting closer and closer to having this thing. Of course, I got to buy a battery, but getting closer and closer to putting it all back together, fill it with coolant, put some gas in the brand new gas tank, and see how she runs. And then get started on brakes. Slowly coming back together. Freshly painted valve covers, cleaned out the insides very well. Fresh new Felpro gaskets, new hoses, new vacuum hoses, PCV hose right here. Everything's going back carefully, making sure that I've got grounds hooked back up again and just taking it step at a time. Other side, you can see that's going to be for the brake booster hose going over to the booster. But yeah, it's coming back. Compressor is going to go back up into place soon. Over here, the valve covers were painted, and then I got a sticker for the driver side, because that was what was on there originally. And basically I used Duplicolor engine enamel with ceramic. I used some primer beforehand and then clear afterwards. They've been drying and curing for over a week. I want them to be not easily scratched. But compared to what they look like originally, it looks pretty darn good. Air cleaner is now painted. Used Rust-Oleum rust reformer at first. And then there's the top of the air cleaner in there. And then this is the shroud for the fan. All of them still curing and drying. Old radiator. Whew, pretty bad.
The engine compartment is slowly coming together, looking decent. Functionality is my goal here, to make it run, drive, stop, be reliable. The aesthetics might not be perfect, but hey, this is a 1966, and this is what the owner really wants me to do. He wants to drive it, not sit and be a garage queen. Stay tuned for the next part. More things to come. Thanks for watching.